We often talk about heartbreaks, but we rarely talk about the consequences of a heartbreak. Now, heartbreaks can happen from different situations. Just to list a few, it could be from a loss of a family member, ending of a relationship, an ending of a marriage, separation of a friend. These are all reasons to feel pain. And the pain is felt in our heart. So what is the result of that is to close our heart. However, when we close our heart, something else happens. We stop in that place of time. And that's the risk of, there's something called paralysis analysis. I used to have a friend who used to talk about that all the time because he was paralyzed. Today, I understand even more the reason why he was paralyzed, and it was because of a loss of his aunt who died in a car accident, and this aunt was like a mother figure to him. And he never came back to his old self. And that's something very common that I see it around me. And it happens a lot with women, and most often it actually happens with men. I think women are still a little bit better in recovering from heartbreaks just because we are more in touch with our emotions and we have a tendency to practice self-healing. Men are excellent in self-developing themselves, and that's something that is truly admirable. However, the healing part doesn't come naturally, and I get it. And that's maybe where women can help them. However, if you are a man and you are viewing this and you have gone through heartbreak, a recent heartbreak, and a recent, I mean by 5-6 years, look back into your life and see how have you lived your life. Are you still paralyzed in time? And if you are, then just becoming aware of that is the first step to understanding that your life stops the second you close your heart. That's the importance of having our heart open. When our heart opens, flow happens and our life moves forward. As you all know, not all of you, I have a lot of new viewers, but as my friends know, my brother passed away 1.5 years ago, and I felt that my life stopped at that moment in time. But because I was aware of heartbreaks and how it works, I have a PhD on heartbreaks. I know how to self-heal, and I know that I cannot stay stuck. And immediately, you want to close your heart because that is a self-protective behavior that we need in order for survival. However, at some point, it's important to start feeling safe within your body, within yourself again, so you can allow your heart to slowly open. And once it opens, you have to realize that you only have one, and you need boundaries around your heart to protect it. That doesn't mean that you make walls. That doesn't mean that you don't fall in love again. That doesn't mean that you don't try another relationship. That only means that you are vulnerable to pain, and you have this beautiful organ that brings life into your life. We need the heart. We can't just function from the brain perspective. And if you are doing that, like a lot of men are these days, they're only working from a place of the mind and completely detached from their heart. Your work, your leadership style, your relationship with your children, your relationship with yourself gets affected the most. And it's not a positive effect. So it's really important you heal your heart and you make that a priority. and you give love a chance, and you stop feeling the fear that you will suffer again if you take another chance. You won't. Each time we learn from our previous experiences. I don't ever like to say that we learn from our mistakes, because they're not mistakes. That's called living life. When we are too cautious in making the right choice, we end up not making any. And that's the danger about perfectionism. When you want to be perfect and you want to make the perfect choices, you don't take risks. Because of my favorite word in all my videos, I think I have mentioned at least once, which is the greatest enemy, fear. Fear keeps you stuck. Fear is also known as ego, and we can talk about that another time. But it's time that we give love another chance and we let go of fear.